in Barbados on Friday, the 23rd of December, 1994. Frank, it's good to be here chatting with you.
Thanks so much, Pat. It was good to see you again.
And you. We go back a long
years,
way.
yeah.
Nice boy. Okay. Frank, one of the things that history will always be interested in is people are always so different, but what is it that really made you decide to become a Baha'i?
I think, Pat, if I think of all the reasons, the main one for me is to have a vision of the future. Mm-hmm. And the future not meaning just the rest of the years of my life, but 500 years from now. I need that security of that, the vision which it offers.
But that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. Yes. Now, you talk about the vision and see in the future, but what was the Baha'i community like when you actually became a Baha'i?
When I became Baha'i, well, it was the Picassis, Frank and Pat and Shirley and Carol and Hazel, Diane, and there were a couple of people around. I mean, it was, you could, on two hands, you can sort of more or less say, okay, that's the Baha'i community. It was just a few people. Okay. It was a very small, intimate family.
Family, that's a real nice way of putting it. What did this Baha'i family did? How, each of us is unique. We all have different talents and abilities. What was it that you felt that you could offer as service to the faith, and was the opportunity available to you at that time?
It took a number of years for me to sort of understand for myself how I best could serve. And yes, the opportunities were certainly available. It was in public relations. Ah. Dealing with newspapers and radio and so on. And just visiting Baha'is to meet the press and so on. So I eventually settled in to that. But it took a long time for me to know what I could best do for the faith. But it was in PR.
Ah. So were the media, were they receptive, open to taking visitors and the sort of
Very.
Okay.
Very, very receptive.
Do you think that that was a factor in the growth of the faith in Barbados?
I would say because the media were and are so receptive, but it just made it so much easier.
Okay.
It meant that was not an obstacle.
Okay. All right, Frank, as well as serving on the media committee, I know that you were very active as a Baha'i, not only in Barbados, but everywhere. Your reputation for getting rid of tons of literature precedes you well. But you also did some teaching after you'd been a Baha'i a few years. Where did you go? Did you do some travel teaching?
To St Lucia.
Okay.
Was yes, it's the only place I've been where I spent a long time and taught all the time.
What was that like?
It would have been St Lucia.
What was that like?
It was fabulous. It was fabulous walking up and down the highways. I didn't have a car, and I covered 9/11 of the island on foot. Okay. And I met many people, and people offered accommodation, transport, the post office van used to be all over the place, you know. And I mean, there was no problem at all. It was really, really nice.
Okay. So this then became a pattern of just walking and talking for Baha'u'llah for you then, huh?
Yeah.
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Out of all your enormous experiences as a Baha'i teacher, can you think of one that pops out over the others or not?
I'm remembering on the east coast of St Lucia, I went for the first time to a village called Deriso, and it was the first time for me in that particular village. And when I arrived, there was a lady whose house was the first house I went to. I didn't know anything about the place before, nor any of the people. The first house I went to, there was a St Lucian woman sitting on her doorstep. And as soon as she saw me, she said, "I saw you in my dream last night. I knew you were coming."
Ooh.